Welcome back. Sorry about the kind of abrupt ending on that last video. I kind of didn't realize I was running out of time so quickly. So sorry about that. Anyway, now we're going to get into what this bottom number means. So I wrote down kind of in a harried fashion, I guess, that this bottom number is the note value which gets the beat. And I want to have a little bit of sort of, I guess, an aside right now to give you a little bit of intuition, because realistically, this bottom number, you're only really going to see three, possibly four different numbers in this bottom number. So you could just memorize what it means, but I do want to have you kind of get a little bit of an intuition as to what these two numbers mean, because you will have opportunities in your musical careers to see very strange time signatures. So let's just so you get kind of an intuition behind this. Let's say our time signature was, I'll make it something weird. So I'll say, let's say we had 5, and let's say the note value which gets the beat. Let's just make something up. Let's say it's A. So with this time signature, and it's a totally, kind of silly time signature, but what it's telling us is that in every measure of music, we have to have 5 A's. A. We have to have 5 A's, and that's the only way that we can have a complete measure of music, is by having 5 of those. Now we could say something like, B is equal to 2A. So we can have a B fills up the same space that 2 A's would have. So say our next measure was B, B, A. Do that again. So that was B, B, A, like that. And that could make sense. So I hope this isn't confusing, but the point I want to drive home is that this bottom number is just telling us what gets the beat, is telling us what we can have 5 of in a measure. So it's telling us that we can have 5 A's in a measure. So we have in this first measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's. And then we kind of said down here that B is equal to 2A, so that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's in the second measure. So hopefully that didn't confuse you, but that's kind of the intuition behind what a time signature means. So now I'll actually start doing sort of a real example that you would actually see. That was just sort of an aside example to give you a bit of the intuition as to what a time signature means. And the reason I wanted to do that is because in 99.9% of music, you're really only going to see 3 and possibly 4 numbers in this bottom number. You're most often really going to see a 4, particularly if you're a jazz player, you're almost always going to see a 4. You might also see a 2. Probably that would be the second most often thing that you would see down there. And then you might also see an 8. And then as a fourth possibility, you might see a 1, but probably not. Probably, 99.9% of music that you're going to read is going to have those 3 numbers in the bottom. So you could really, kind of get through a whole music career. Oh, that's right. Won't let me undo. So you could, sort of get through a whole music career and just sort of memorize what seeing these 3 numbers in this bottom number of a time signature mean, and never really get the intuition, just because there aren't really that many possibilities of different numbers that could go down here. So and there's, I guess, on a certain level, there's nothing really wrong with that. And but I do want to give you sort of the intuition behind how I would think about, or how I think about. This is weird. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I do want to give you the intuition behind how I think about a number that I'll see in this bottom number. So what I kind of think about, and it might be good if you have like a little bit of math background, is I take this bottom number and I pretty much put a 1 over that number, or I take its inverse or reciprocal. So if there's a 4 down here, I just do 1 over 4. And that means that is a quarter. So that means a quarter note is what gets the beat in this particular time signature. Because we have a 4 down here, we just take 1 over a 4 and we get a quarter note, like that. Another time signature that you might see, and I guess I'll just list this out right now, and I won't write it down right now because we'll do some examples, and I think once we start doing some examples, this will make a bit more sense. But kind of the another possibility of number that you'll see down here is a 2. So if we had a 2 down here, say this, it wasn't a 4, say instead it was a 2, then we would just take this 2 and put a 1 over top of the 2, like that, and that's a half. And we would write that like that. So we would count a half note as our beat. And then this is definitely getting a little bit ahead of you, because this isn't one of the, I guess, most basic note forms that we're sort of going over in this unit, but sort of the third most common possibility is an 8 down here. And similarly, we would just take a 1 over that number, over the 8. And this, we haven't covered this yet, but that would mean that an 8th note gets the beat. And hopefully I'm not confusing you by putting this up. These are the only notes that we've, I guess, covered so far right now. Has been the quarter note and the half note. But I do kind of just want to show you what the intuition is behind these numbers in a time signature. So anyway, I think that might be enough for this video, and hopefully I haven't confused you. In the next bunch of videos, we're just going to do a whole bunch of different examples of music with different time signatures, and hopefully that should drive home a bit more the concept of a beat, and I guess the concept of dealing with time signatures. So hope you enjoyed this and found it somewhat useful, and I'll see you soon.